A couple off the coast of Tofino is taking the term liveaboard to a whole new level. They've taken the concept of living in a float home.
Several mind-boggling, extraordinary, and extravagant dwellings around the world boast unique designs and brilliant architecture, but only a few can mysteriously hide in plain sight. Whether tucked inside lush rainforests or flawlessly blended into a cliff's edge, these homes appear to resist easy discovery for some inexplicable fascination. Here are 15 most unbelievable hidden homes. Number 15. Freedom Cove. A mesmerizing sanctuary, an artificial island known as Freedom Cove, is nestled in the vast stretches of the Canadian bush, cloaked from the trappings of mainstream civilization. This hidden paradise is a monument to its creators' enduring vision and shared goals. Wayne Adams and Catherine King, a bohemian couple who have weathered the flow of life aboard their floating house for an incredible 3 decades. The idea for Freedom Cove sprang from the vivid imaginations of Adams and King, who had a long-held desire to escape the confines of city life and immerse themselves in nature's pristine splendor. The desire to go on this unusual journey gathered traction when soaring rent prices in their community threatened the integrity of their ambitions. Undaunted, they chose to challenge the conventional narrative, adopting a way of life marked by perseverance, ingenuity, and a deep connection to the natural world. Freedom Cove has grown naturally over the last 30 years, becoming a floating tapestry of interconnecting wooden barges and boats. These watery foundations now support a symphony of gardens, art studios, bedrooms, and even a dance floor, all of which the couple lovingly created without the use of power tools. Their efforts are fueled by a commitment to self-sufficiency, which is supported by a diet based on the bounty of vegetables grown in onboard gardens and fish deftly caught by Wayne. The creativity displayed in everyday activities is a distinguishing feature of living on Freedom Cove. Wayne's fishing adventures, for example, occasionally occur from the comfort of his living room sofa through a hole in the floor, a manifestation of the peculiar lifestyle they've cultivated in their watery domicile. When the pair unwillingly leaves their underwater hideaway, they joke about getting landsick. Adams and King have no intention of departing the sanctuary they have meticulously established. Number 14. Honey Croc. Under the look of a standard 40-foot haystack, Honey Croc Farm, hidden in the gorgeous countryside of Surrey, England, had a frank mystery. While hay bales are common on English farms, this haystack on Honey Croc Farm told a story of audacity and secret ambition. In the late 1990s, the farm's owner, Robert Fiddler, applied for planning approval to build a house on his extensive property. Fiddler devised a clever approach after becoming frustrated with the slow reaction from local officials. He took advantage of a legal loophole and proceeded with the construction of his dream home without the necessary license. Using an English legal provision, Fiddler learned that if an unlawfully erected structure could go unobserved for 4 years, it would receive legal immunity as an established construction. Armed with this information, Fiddler secretly built his house, cleverly concealing it among hay bales on his farm. Fiddler lived with the oddity of horses eating in his living room for 4 years, while keeping his Tudor-inspired house hidden. Then came the day when he proudly displayed his masterpiece, tearing down the hay curtain that had concealed his secret residence. The castle, complete with fake Tudor architecture, towers, chandeliers, and a wood-furnished interior, astounded many who were unaware of its presence. The property even had a replica cannon, though its use was more symbolic than practical. The authorities, however, were not amused by Fiddler's cunning maneuver and quickly pounced on the scene. They claimed that the house was built on protected land, and that removing the hay bales was an essential component of the construction process. Legally, they maintained the house was finished when it was unveiled, therefore nullifying the 4-year grace period. Fiddler fought the council's decision for more than a decade, but his efforts were in vain. A demolition crew descended on Honey Croc Farm in 2016, razing Fiddler's ideal home to the ground. Number 13. Guaruja Forest House. The Jungle House is an architectural marvel constructed by the creative hands of Studio MK27. Nestled inside the heart of the Brazilian rainforest, it is renowned for its rough beauty and plentiful fauna. Surrounded by untamed forest in Guaruja, this opulent house shows the perfect coexistence of affluence and nature. The Jungle House's design, a work of genius, blends perfectly with the lush, verdant surroundings. The dwelling, adorned with wooden slats, seamlessly integrates into the lush flora of the jungle, becoming a part of the scene rather than an imposition on it. It's an enthralling fusion of artificial elegance with the organic attraction of the jungle. Elevated above the forest floor, the entire home floats smoothly on stilts, creating a sanctuary immune to the plethora of species that inhabit the rainforest below. Anacondas, tarantulas, and other creepy crawlies are kept at bay, allowing the residents to live in luxury without disturbance from the wild. The strategic height provides a dual purpose, protecting the people from the jungle's inhabitants while also providing a spectacular vantage point. The jungle house, perched above the canopy, is drenched in natural sunlight, creating an environment of peace and openness. This residence's architectural brilliance converts the wild into a backdrop, a living canvas for those fortunate enough to call it home. The jungle house, contrary to expectations for a residence in such a primitive setting, is a monument to modernism and technical advancement. The three-story home features cutting-edge amenities, such as a large swimming pool that mimics the sky, a fire pit for quiet gatherings, and various bedrooms that exude comfort and style. The juxtaposition of the wild and the sophisticated is a harmonious dance in this dwelling. The jungle house is more than just a house. It is a jungle throne, a majestic domicile where the owner reigns supreme. Number 12. Crane 29. Crane 29, which stands tall in Bristol, England, looks to be a standard construction crane at first glance. A closer look reveals its distinguishing features: a grass-topped roof and a metal balcony that seem more appropriate for a rustic rural cottage than a utilitarian machine. Canopy and Stars, a luxury camping firm known for its tree houses and lodges situated in remote wilderness locales, designed this unique structure. Crane 29 stands out from its peers on construction sites as an industrial rendition of the conventional treehouse concept. Perched among Bristol's dockside scenery, it adds a touch of urban refinement to Canopy and Star's unusual accommodation experience. When one enters Crane 29, they are taken to a sanctuary that appeals to the hipster crowd, rather than the hard hat-wearing construction workers. The chamber, which resembles a boutique hotel rather than a traditional crane cabin, has a growing forest of houseplants, an enticing indoor hammock, and a large selection of books. The crane's role here goes beyond lifting concrete and steel. Instead, it focuses on boosting spirits with its carefully chosen blend of natural components and creative flair. Canopy and Stars, known for its ability to create accommodations that integrate perfectly with nature, has expanded into the city center with Crane 29. The combination of the industrial facade with the lush vegetation and cozy interior provides a one-of-a-kind refuge that contradicts urban lodging stereotypes. This industrial chic crane-turned hotel caters to a clientele that prefers man buns over hard hats. It exemplifies Canopy and Star's imaginative attitude, transforming a utilitarian structure into a fashionable, nature-inspired retreat that welcomes travelers seeking an urban escape with a dash of whimsy and elegance. Number 11. Cliff Haven. Cliff Haven, located in the cliffs of Monticello, Utah, is more than just a concealed cave house. It is a sprawling hideaway, a sanctuary skillfully excavated into the rock face during the late 1980s. This remarkable home, located 20 minutes from the city, unfolds on 12 acres of quiet private land, providing a perfect refuge for people seeking privacy and self-sufficiency. Cliff Haven is a bit of heaven for the discriminating introvert. The cave house, a tribute to the architectural genius, blends into the natural contours of the rock, providing a tranquil getaway from society's demands. Surrounded by stunning scenery, the anti-social owner finds refuge in the embrace of this off-the-grid residence. With an orchard, a vineyard, solar panels, and rainwater collection tank, the property is a model of sustainable living. With these comforts, the recluse living within can achieve complete self-sufficiency, relying on nature's bounty and solar energy. It's a place where one can withdraw from the outside world and live a life governed by the land's rhythm. However, this haven of seclusion does not have to be a solitary retreat. The cave house has 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a 2-car garage, making it ideal for the odd visitor or a like-minded friend. Cliff Haven's fabric is flawlessly knit with the juxtaposition of isolation and sociability, allowing a versatile lifestyle that responds to the residents' desire for seclusion or company. Imagine living in this rough beauty with the freedom to choose your level of social engagement. The charm of the world's fanciest caveman who lives in Cliff Haven, Utah, transcends the mundane. It's an invitation to step away from the hustle and bustle of modern life and appreciate the simplicity and majesty of a life well carved into the heart of the soil. Wouldn't you be persuaded to embark on this unusual trip, straddling the line between seclusion and communal living, if you were allowed to live in such a marvel? Number 10. Kuberpety. The peculiar town of Kuberpety, located in the heart of South Australia, redefines the concept of living down under by actually subverting it. Approximately 60% of its population lives in underground caverns. This is not a primitive way of life. Rather, it is a smart adaptation to the harsh circumstances of the Australian outback. Kuberpety's underground houses are far from primitive caves, with double rooms, bars, and even swimming pools. These homes aren't hiding from prying eyes, but rather from the unrelenting Australian heat, which can raise surface temperatures to 123 degrees Fahrenheit. Due to the insulating characteristics of the surrounding rock, the subterranean abodes maintain a cool and steady temperature of roughly 73 degrees. This subterranean refuge protects people from the severe heat, giving them a respite from the hot conditions outside. The town's existence and unusual housing preferences are due to the pursuit of valuable opals. The lavish finding of opal by a teenager in 1915 sparked a rush of eager miners equipped with pickaxes to Kuberpety in pursuit of their fortune. What began as a mining village has evolved into a one-of-a-kind town that includes not only underground dwellings, but also underground hotel, churches, and even an above-ground golf course. Kuberpety's allure stems from its long history with treasure-hunting miners. While excavating rock for new homes, these daring folks occasionally unearth opals that prove to be more than just geological wonders. They become valuable enough to cover the price of building a new home. The town's scenery shows the symbiotic interaction that exists between its citizens and the opal-rich dirt beneath their feet. Number 9. Castile Creek Retreat. Nothing surpasses blending into the lush green surroundings when it comes to hiding away in nature. However, at the Castile Creek Retreat in Colorado, the idea of a forest hideaway is elevated to a level that defies the image of a small cabin. In fact, forget cozy. This refuge is more similar to a castle hidden among the trees, making a striking statement in the center of the forest. The main home, at an astonishing 3,340 square feet, is not your usual woodland residence. It has 8 bedrooms and 10 bathrooms, providing extravagant that goes beyond the cozy appeal of a cabin in the woods. But that's not all. The hideaway also contains 2 guest houses. It's a lavish refuge where luxury meets the wild beauty of the forest. The Castile Creek Retreat is a gorgeous complex, set on 250 acres of land surrounded by an additional 2 million acres of national forest. Yes, you read that correctly. 2 million acres of protected, breathtaking countryside. It's a large stretch of land where the hideaway stands in glorious isolation, with no neighbors in sight. It's just you, the trees, the little woodland critters, and the peaceful, trout-filled pond at the back. While living in a position like this would normally turn neighbors green with jealousy, there are no neighbors in this magnificent situation. The retreat provides an incomparable sense of seclusion and tranquility, making it the ideal getaway from the rush and bustle of the outside world. It's the ideal place to unplug, escape for a bit, and immerse yourself in nature's soothing embrace. The exclusivity and luxury, of course, come at a cost. A whopping $78 million to be exact. Number 8. Mirror Cube. Nestled in the center of a Swedish woodland, the Mirror Cube appears as an architectural marvel, effortlessly merging into its environment with an enchantingly reflecting and practically invisible facade. This hidden dwelling, made of oak and mirrors, is an optical illusion that challenges traditional conceptions of shelter and camouflage. The Mirror Cube's facade is distinguished by a one-way mirror that envelops the structure in reflecting privacy. While it appears to the outside world to be a continuous reflective surface, this mirror is really made of regular glass that has been thinly coated with a reflective metal coating. When sunlight strikes the glass, it acts like a regular mirror, reflecting light to the spectator. However, the unusual thinness of the reflective metal allows some sunlight to get through, allowing individuals inside the Mirror Cube to peer out through the translucent glass. The Mirror Cube, which starts at $550 a night, offers an intimate refuge limited to 2 occupants within its minimalist wooden confines. Despite its small size, the Mirror Cube appeals to introverts seeking solitude and seclusion in nature's embrace. There's no need to worry for Mirror Cube fans who are afraid of heights, because the Mirror Cube isn't a single wonder. While the Mirror Cube captivates human visitors with its captivating design, one can't help but wonder how the forest's bird residents react to this innovative addition to their environment. Number 7. Himi Castle. Himi Castle, also known as the White Heron because of its spotless white exterior and beautiful bird-like architecture, is a Japanese national treasure and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This magnificent castle, located in Himeji City, Hyogo Prefecture, is a monument to Japan's rich cultural legacy and architectural prowess. While not literally buried, Himi Castle exudes a distinct sense of seclusion and loneliness despite its popularity and historical significance. Himi Castle, built in the early 17th century, has survived centuries of turmoil, including earthquakes, wars, and natural calamities, making it one of Japan's best-preserved castles. Its towering white walls and exquisite wooden constructions exude timeless grandeur, transporting visitors to a feudal Japan age when samurai warriors and feudal lords roamed the land. The strategic placement of the castle atop a hill, encircled by enormous defensive walls and a complex system of gates and moats, was constructed with both aesthetic and defensive concerns in mind. The enormous complex includes a maze of small corridors, steep ladders, and concealed chambers that confuse and disorient potential invaders. This elaborate architecture, paired with the brilliant white plaster exterior, functioned as a symbol of authority and grandeur, as well as a deterrence to possible attackers. While Himi Castle is not literally hidden, its architecture provides a sense of seclusion and separation from the surrounding metropolitan area. The castle's soaring spires and turrets dominate the horizon, producing a visual spectacle that appears isolated from the bustling modern world below. It provides tourists with a rare insight into a bygone age, bringing them to a quieter, more introspective period in Japanese history. Apart from its geographical isolation, Himi Castle is a lone survivor of centuries of change and upheaval. Many other castles from its era have been destroyed by conflict, fire, or restoration, leaving Himi Castle as the sole defender of Japan's medieval heritage. Its endurance and tenacity contribute to the sense of isolation that surrounds it, emphasizing its unique role in Japanese history. Number 6. Wishing Park Estate. The Wishing Park Estate appears as a refuge of tranquility amid the calm surroundings of Borden, England, beckoning people seeking peace into its embrace. This $3 million property is designed for the forward-thinking, eco-conscious individual who values privacy. Wishing Park Estate is more than a house. It's a creative architectural expression created to blend in with its surroundings. The designers envisioned a location that exudes peace while leaving a small impression on the landscape. As a result, the single-story house plays with vision, blurring the distinctions between what is above and below ground. Its organic appearance provides the idea that it could have emerged from the earth organically, resulting in an intriguing blend of artificial elegance and natural beauty. Wishing Park, which spans 40 acres, is about more than simply the house. It's about appreciating the vast outdoors. The estate has fishing lakes, which lend a sense of leisure and natural beauty to the surroundings. A 30-acre block of land is also available for use, providing a blank canvas for prospective expansions, such as an equestrian facility, a great chance for anyone with a passion for horses or a desire to develop the estate further. For those who like to crunch figures, every feature of Wishing Park Estate appears to have been painstakingly designed to blend in with its natural surroundings, producing an environment in which the line between the manufactured and the organic becomes deliciously blurred. The quest for peace is not just a wish, but a reality in this retreat, where architecture and nature dance in perfect harmony. Now let's check out today's subscriber pick. The image you're seeing is a design created by Open Platform for Architecture. It's called the Casa Brutale, and it utilizes a minimalistic concrete form in a natural setting to make a dramatic, unclad statement on the simplicity and harmony of contemporary architecture. Natural light illuminates the volumetrically inverted underground home through massive glass facade frames that provide a stunning view out to the Aegean Sea, as well as sunlight reflected through water in the crystalline pool constructed of reinforced glass that acts as the home's ceiling. The home is built using simple materials such as wood, glass, and concrete, reflecting the surrounding land and water. Because features enter and triumph over the building, the landscape is vital to the underlying notion. The ceiling of Casa Brutale, a glass-bottom swimming pool, continues the beautiful Aegean Sea and communicates perfectly with the great blue of the Greek sky. Unlike other similar projects, this one is actually set for construction. A site has recently been confirmed on Fakra Mountain in Lebanon, famous for its exclusive villas and luxurious ski resorts, and a budget of around $2.5 million will be spent to bring the architect's vision to reality. Would you want to live in a house like this? Let us know in the comments below. Number 5. Woolbrook Reservoir. Prepare to be astounded by the Woolbrook Reservoir in Devon, UK. an incredible hidden residence that pushes the concept of hiding to new heights. What was once a water reservoir in southeast England has been transformed into a $1 million 5-bedroom home that blends innovation with the timeless beauty of the English countryside. With its enormous glass walls that drop right into the soil, this underground marvel defies expectations. The clever renovation not only gives new life to an ancient reservoir, but it also reflects the spirit of out with the old, in with the new. What's particularly surprising is that this secret gem has remained concealed. An unwary traveler could easily walk by, unaware of the architectural marvel beneath their feet. The Woolbrook Reservoir's interiors are centered around a large courtyard, which basks in the brilliance of natural English sunlight that permeates the subterranean living areas. Despite the home's hidden nature, this architectural choice generates an atmosphere of openness and connection with the outside world. It is a $1 million mansion that manages to keep a low profile while shocking those who are fortunate enough to discover its presence. The subterranean abode's subtlety is further emphasized by a meticulously hidden spiral staircase leading to the main bedroom, which adds an element of surprise and intrigue. Aside from its interior beauty, the Woolbrook Reservoir blends well with its natural surroundings thanks to a raised pond and garden that contribute to its unassuming outer aspect. The isolation of this secret haven, a property surrounded by acres of woodlands ready to be explored, is what truly distinguishes it. Number 4. Langry House. Langry House is an underground masterpiece in the middle of Hampstead Heath, London, and has been nicknamed an iceberg residence. This $6 million mansion is a testimony to extravagance, comprising 3,400 square feet of opulent living area. Langry House, named after the renowned actress Lily Langtry in honor of her link with Hampstead Heath, is a blend of refinement with underground ingenuity. Langry House had its origins in a time when the land was little more than a collection of garages. These garages were demolished as part of a transformational project and replaced by a magnificent family house. The architects were presented with a unique challenge. They couldn't go higher than the original garages. As a result, the clever idea was to design a home that primarily lies beneath the ground, resulting in a home that defies assumptions and embraces subterranean elegance. Langry House appears modest from the outside, with the living room only 8 feet above ground. Step inside, however, and the room morphs into a soaring 25-foot-high ceiling, taking the living experience to new heights. This optical illusion is a monument to the careful design that maximizes interior grandeur while remaining unobtrusive in its surroundings. Langry House is more than just a paradise of comforts. It is a haven of hidden luxury. The underground residence has a gym for fitness fanatics, a cinema room for movie buffs, a wine cellar for wine connoisseurs, and even a garden that defies the usual notions of underground habitation. Each component has been carefully selected to improve the quality of life within this underground refuge. Langry House invites its dwellers into a realm where luxury meets inventive architecture in this subterranean residence. It's more than simply a house. It's an architectural marvel that tests the limits of what's possible. Number 3. High Desert House. The High Desert House, located on the borders of the bizarre, alien-appreciating Joshua Tree region, is a tribute to architectural greatness, a product of the acclaimed San Diego-based designer Kendrick Bangs Kellogg, acknowledged as one of the world's best. This extraordinary residence, completed in 1986, exemplifies a synthesis of modernity and timelessness, combining effortlessly with the stark beauty of its desert surroundings. Given its remote position, finding the High Desert House may prove difficult for the curious traveler. However, once located, it reveals itself to be a residence seemingly pulled from the realms of science fiction, evocative of Freeman's homestead on the faraway planet Arrakis. Nestled in the alien terrain of Joshua Tree, the house embodies a fusion of Cold War-era sci-fi aesthetics with the Flintstones' futuristic charm, producing a visual extravaganza that transcends traditional architectural rules. The High Desert House was meticulously built over nearly 3 decades, a labor of love that resulted in a 5,000 square foot residence on a 10-acre parcel of desert property. The house accepts its setting, finding harmony within the landscape as if fashioned by millions of years of natural erosion. It is strategically positioned amid huge boulders. The distinctive flat panel roof is a fundamental design element that allows the high desert house to blend in with its environment. It's a conscious choice that gives the impression that the structure is a product of the desert's persistent erosive forces. This structure will survive the test of time, while reflecting the progression of modern architectural sensibilities. Aside from being an architectural marvel, the high desert house is a labor of love and craftsmanship. After the construction was finished, an additional 14 years were spent precisely handcrafting all of the furniture, a dedication to detail that adds to the residence's particular character. The end effect is an alien yet inviting interior that captures the essence of the desert's mystique. Number 2. Villa Vals. Nestled among the snowy peaks of Switzerland, appears as the ultimate retreat for skiing fans. This villa, perched directly on the snow-capped slopes, is more than just a house. It's a detailed integration into the natural terrain, a sanctuary created to maintain the pristine beauty of its surroundings. Villa Vals, accessible only by an underground tunnel dug under the mountain, welcomes guests seeking a beautiful blend of architectural beauty and alpine grandeur. The mansion, designed by Dutch architects, flawlessly combines Dutch and Swiss components, producing a distinct look that pays homage to both countries. The house's intentionally slanted exterior maximizes the panoramic views of the mountain landscape, welcoming the outside in and creating a visual spectacle from every corner. In addition to its architectural prowess, Villa Vals provides occupants with stunning views of the surrounding area. The breathtaking views stretch to the mountains on the other side of the valley, creating a setting of incomparable natural beauty. It's more than simply a house. It's a living canvas that captures the soul of Switzerland's breathtaking scenery. Residents of Villa Vals enjoy the thrilling choice of skiing down the slopes directly to Therme Vals, a renowned hotel and spa complex. This seamless link to both nature and luxury distinguishes Villa Vals as a one-of-a-kind getaway where the adrenaline of skiing meets the peace of a spa to create an exceptional living experience. This alpine haven, however, comes at a premium price, with rates reaching $3,400 per night. However, for those who value the rarity of such an experience, the cost is a tiny investment for the luxury of immersing oneself in the splendor of Villa Vals. Number 1. Vivos Europa 1. The Vivos Europa 1 elite shelter, located in Rothenstein, Germany, is regarded as the world's largest private shelter, an underground masterpiece with a stunning $1.1 billion price tag. This underground complex includes 227,904 square feet of residential space, as well as 43,906 square feet of above-ground residences, offices, warehouses, and even a fully equipped train terminal. As if that weren't enough, a complex network of tunnels running around 3 miles beneath the complex weaves intricate records of security and accessibility. This private luxury bunker, nestled snugly beneath a mountain's protective embrace, serves as a retreat for millionaires seeking the pinnacle of safety and splendor. The Vivos Europa 1 elite shelter, formerly a Cold War fortress used by the Soviet Union to preserve military equipment, has experienced a revolutionary evolution, emerging as a sanctuary meant to endure and withstand the most daunting threat. Its strong structure makes it resistant to nuclear explosions, earthquakes, tsunamis, plane accidents, and nearly any armed attack. This subterranean paradise caters to the affluent with a multitude of facilities beyond its impregnable shell. The Vivos Europa 1 elite shelter is more than simply a shelter. It's an opulent resort with pools, gyms, theaters, and restaurants, providing a lifestyle that defies typical concepts of survival shelters. As if that weren't enough, the shelter also has a helicopter service, allowing its privileged residents to travel quickly and safely. The Vivos Europa 1 elite shelter, designed to be more than simply a shelter, is a monument to human ingenuity and the lengths one can go to provide both security and comfort. For those with the money to invest, this billion-dollar hideaway provides not only safety, but also an unrivaled living experience, with the underground environment serving as a canvas for an elite lifestyle.